Sometimes it's very easy to find new topics to talk about, and tonight I want to present History of Trucking in Tucson, Arizona. By doing this, you'll find out about some fallen flags and how some of the other bigger, well-known companies came to be by acquiring some of these smaller companies. So let's get right into it. People's Freight Lines Incorporated was organized in September 1928. The original management of the company was P.P. Corll, Claude Smith, Otto Hatcher, and Mark Jennings. The company actually began operations on October 30th, 1928, hauling freight between Phoenix, Tucson, and Nogales, Arizona, including service to all the intermediate points. In Nogales, the terminal was on the corner of Elm and Aurora Street. In Phoenix, it was at 118 East Buchanan Street. For the first few years in Tucson, the terminal was located at 220 West 5th Street. Then, for a short time in 1935, moved to 46 West 6th Street. Also in 1935, a terminal opened in Safford, Arizona on South 5th Avenue. Most of their traffic was handled for the Southern Pacific Railroad, and most of their routes were almost parallel to SP tracks, except for Bisbee and Douglas, Arizona. In January 1937, hearings were held with the Arizona regulatory body to consider an application for People's Freight Line to run direct routes between the cities of Tucson, Globe, and Miami. That's in Arizona, not in Florida. By this time, the company was a true interstate carrier moving freight westward to Los Angeles. A year later, in January 1938, Pacific Motor Trucking Company, the motor carrier subsidiary of Southern Pacific Railroad, had been granted ICC permission to acquire People's Freight Lines. In just 10 years, People's had been formed, grew, and was bought out. Oracle Freight Line was an intrastate Arizona carrier that served a route from Tucson northward to the points of Oracle, Mammoth, Winkleman, Hayden, Kelvin, Ray, and Sonora. For many years, their Tucson terminal was at 1228 West Congress Street. Now, this would be a good time to tell you that all of these addresses that terminals existed in the days in Tucson, I've looked them up, and unfortunately, a lot of these addresses have been redeveloped into other things, and very few of the remnants of old truck terminals remain. You can look them up yourself and find the same thing, but I just wanted to let you know that this video is based on history, and I will provide videos as we go along when it's appropriate. El Paso, Arizona Motor Freight Lines was founded in 1932 by Henry Hohen Sr. Although based in El Paso, a Tucson, Arizona terminal was located at 310 East 6th Street. Growth of the fleet of trucks was steady. 17 trucks in December 1934, 22 by October 1935, and 29 trucks by May 1936. In December 1938, Tipton Freight Line purchased some of El Paso, Arizona's operating rights between El Paso, Deming, New Mexico, and Silver City, New Mexico. System Arizona Freight Service. Under one ownership, the company also in 1937 was known as System Arizona Express Service, with daily service covering California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. They also owned System San Diego Express, which operated between San Diego and Los Angeles, as well as Modern Car Loading Company. Effective February 25, 1938, the ICC ordered the company to discontinue service between El Paso, Texas, and Globe, Arizona, and between El Paso and Tucson. This was a result of hearings held in September 1936, in which the ICC examiner asserted that the routes, covered by two separate carriers, was adequately served by existing rail and truck lines. So much for the grandfather clause. The firm operated an average of 15 trucks in and out of El Paso daily. Drivers would change shifts every 8 hours at El Paso, Lordsburg, Phoenix, Blythe, and Los Angeles, California. Benson, Arizona was headquarters for Copper State Transportation Company from 1932 to 1936. Then, the offices were moved to Tucson, Arizona. A Los Angeles terminal was located at 776 Crocker Street. In 1940, the rights were transferred to a new entity called Consolidated Copper States Lines. In 1969, Valley Copper State was formed by merging the following trucking companies: Portland Seattle Freight Lines, Pierce Freight Lines, Valley Motor Lines, Consolidated Copper State Lines, Sunset Motor Lines, and Alabama Freight Lines. GFD Lines Incorporated was one of several truck lines operating in the busy Los Angeles to Arizona traffic lane. Early in their history, they used City Transfer in the Arizona city of Casa Grande as their local agent. Based in Phoenix, GFD had their headquarters at 301 West Lincoln Street. During the early 1940s, the Tucson, Arizona terminal was at 1135 North 12th Avenue, and the Los Angeles, California facility was at 1930 South Vermont Street. In November 1949, GFD Lines was acquired by Watson Brothers Transportation Company of Omaha, Nebraska. Phoenix Blue Diamond Express operated between Los Angeles, Phoenix, Tucson, Bisbee, and Douglas. Incorporated in 1934, it replaced its entire fleet in January 1939 with 24 new trucks and trailers at a cost of $85,000. In January 1943, the name of the firm changed to Wells Truckways Limited, and not only was a common carrier of general commodities, but was a major livestock hauler in the Southwest as well. When Wells Truckways applied for authority between Tucson and Yuma via Casa Grande, Pacific Motor Trucking immediately fought by establishing a route between Tucson and Yuma via Phoenix, some 77 miles shorter. Pacific Motor Trucking thought that the shorter route would cause the Wells Truckways application to be denied. Since the routes were not exactly the same, both companies got their authority approved in November 1945. By 1956, Wells Truckways Terminal in Tucson was the local cartage agent for Transcon lines. 3 years later, in January 1959, Milne Truck Lines Incorporated entered into a contract to purchase Wells Truckways Incorporated, giving Milne routes between Southern California and the major Arizona cities. Arizona Express is one carrier that I found interesting as far as the little history I was able to find out about them. In 1923, brothers Burl E. Wilson and Eugene E. Wilson started a two-man, one-truck operation hauling groceries and other merchandise between Tucson and Sells, Arizona, mostly for the Papago Indians. In 1924, they started hauling mail between the two cities. In 1934, they purchased Bisbee Douglas Truck and Transfer Company. In 1940, the Arizona Express Incorporated was formed as a corporation. On April 3, 1958, one of the company founders, Burl Wilson, died, and 1 year later, Arizona Express was sold to Consolidated Freightways for $575,000. At the time of the sale, Arizona Express had 175 employees and 160 pieces of equipment in their fleet. That concludes our look at the history of trucking in Tucson, Arizona. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave comments if you have, and we'll see you with the next video. Thank you.